let's overreact. Or maybe we're just reacting. The Packers are the team to beat in the NFC right now. I don't think you can argue that. They've beaten two really good teams. And yes, one was on the road, one was at home. But I think in the fashion that they beat the Lions and the Commanders, they roughed them up. They roughed them up, and they looked impressive. And, two home games, I should say. So, yes, you knock those two off. You check the boxes there with two teams, playoff teams, who have gone to NFC title games, and now all of a sudden you've got everybody's attention. This is a team that always scored. Last year they scored. They'd get you 20 points. They'd average 20 points a game, maybe more than that. Now you got defense. And if you're able to put pressure, you're able to stop dynamic players, now all of a sudden you've changed the perception of your team, because it feels like they're a defensive first team. And if you're going to hit the quarterback 12 times, now all of a sudden he's back there and now he's thinking, instead of you're thinking about the wide receiver, you're thinking about the play. Now you're thinking about where is that guy? Because Micah Parsons, you can look at the stats, and the stats to me, they really don't incorporate how great he is. Because let's say somebody gets a sack and it's not Micah Parsons. Pretty much guarantee that Micah Parsons had something to do with that person getting a sack or holding calls. That's like a sack. If you're going to be holding and he's the one that is being held, once again, that value. There's only a couple of players like that in the NFL. That's why I know Jerry's going to go to his grave saying he made a great deal trading away Micah Parsons. I think Green Bay paid too much for him, given the market, but giving up the run stopper and 2 first-round picks, you saw the difference. There's only 5 or 6 players who are like that defensively. And he might be at the top of the list of he's going to put pressure. He's going to make sure you know where he is, and he's going to make everybody better on passing downs. The one thing I would caution is I want to ease him into the season. And I know that when you have a shiny new toy, you're like, God, I got to get him out there. I want him to play. He wants to get out there. He's, lobbying Matt LaFleur to get him out there to play a little bit more. A long season. Long season. Players are going to get hurt. Teams are going to be up. They're going to be down. It happens every single year. It's really, really rare when a team doesn't go through a rough patch. And Green Bay will have that this year. But what we've seen so far with the Lions and the Commanders, and I don't think those scores are indicative of just how much better Green Bay was than those teams. But the Packers aren't suddenly Super Bowl contenders because they traded for Micah Parsons, in my opinion. I just think they've always been contenders, top to bottom. And now you put the finishing touch in getting a player like that. And now I think they're the team to beat in the NFC. Now, let's see what happens with the Eagles against Kansas City. If the Eagles, who are favored, slight favorites, go into Kansas City and they put up impressive numbers, I just think it's so hard. And, players talk about when you're winning championships, you get full. And it's hard to eat when you're full. And maybe the Eagles are going to, go through that, where they might not be as hungry as they've been before. It happens. That's why we don't have back-to-back champions. Been a long, long, long time. But going to Kansas City, that will have my attention. There's a couple of games that have my attention in the NFL. The Patriots against the Dolphins. It's a division game, but I think all eyes are on Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins head coach. Like, that's a must-winish game, in my opinion. The Broncos against the Colts. It's just one of those games where you go, I normally wouldn't really care about it, but now I kind of do. Buffalo after a big win, and then they're on the road against the Jets. I'm not saying, but I'm saying those are the games that always get my attention, where you go, I don't know. It's a weird feeling. The Chargers against the Raiders. I don't know. Big game on the road, come back, and now you're going to face them. And I don't know. Just a couple of those. I got a few of those in college football as well that I'll run down. By the way, wearing the eye black, Tucker Kraft. South Dakota State or South Dakota? he had a big night last night. Here is Jordan Love on his big tight end.
I'm expecting big things from Tuck this year, but it's just, it's one of those things that's who Tuck is every day. He comes in and puts that work in, and, in practice every day he's making those big-time plays, and he's very consistent right now. So I don't think it's a secret for him to go out there and ball like he does. First time having 100 yards, which is pretty cool for him. But, he just goes out there and takes the work from practice into the games and is consistent with what he does. So, we just got to keep building on with him. But, Tuck's a guy that's going to have a big year. South
Dakota State Jackrabbits there. Tucker Kraft. People scrambling for their fantasy teams. I got him. I claimed him. I got him. Jaden Daniels ran 7 times for 17 yards. He threw 42 times for 200 yards. Fourth time he's been held under 25 yards rushing in his career. It even kind of non-threatening. Although I do love what I see from him. He stands tall in the pocket. I didn't think he was going to have a great game here. Just on the road with this defense, and it just felt like Green Bay should have won by, 4 touchdowns. I thought that they were that much better there.